movement, getting smart about how you move. I'm Hazel. Thanks for joining me for Copy and Move 6. It's Saturday, the something's, actually it must be the 28th, because it's my sister's birthday tomorrow on the 29th. It's the 28th of March. We're into day 3 or something of our retreat here in New Zealand, and we're going to do some standing exercises today. I've worked out a way, my camera is balancing on many chairs over the other side of the room. So the first thing we're going to do is stand on one leg. So the reason we're doing this is because being able to carry your weight on one leg is really important for walking, and many of us don't carry our weight well. And you'll notice that I'm standing on one leg, but my opposite leg, the non-standing leg, is also straight. So what many of you will do when I ask you to stand on one leg is this: you'll bend this leg and drop this hip, which means that this hip is not taking any of the load, which means that you'll have not very good lateral hip strength or glute minimus strength when you're walking, which is really important. And also just standing on one leg here is really important for, well, it will help you build up the strength of your glute max, which is a very important muscle for walking. If I show you from the side, you'll notice that I'm not standing like this, right, and lifting up. I have my weight in my heels, so that's also really important. So you want to back your weight back a little bit so that your femur bone is vertical. This bone here, the upper leg bone, is vertical and not tilted forward as it becomes when you thrust your pelvis. So standing on one leg, it's good times. Of course, we're going to do it on both legs and just play around with those ideas of bringing your weight into your heel, bringing your pelvis back a little bit, and having the opposite leg straight. In future episodes, we will be turning this into a pelvic list, but for now we're just going to stand on one leg. It's also a nice balance exercise, also really good for the strength of your foot, which many of us, again, because we are constant shoe wearers, we don't have very good foot strength. So let's go back and stand on the other leg. And we're just trying to build some endurance in our lateral hip muscles to be able to carry the weight of our body when we're walking. So here, your lateral hip muscles and other muscles in your leg and whatnot are carrying the weight of your entire body. And when you've got your weight on both feet, one of your legs is only carrying half the weight of your body. Some interesting stats that you should know is when you are standing still, your body is experiencing 1 g of gravitational load. That means that it's 1 times your body weight. So if you're about 70 kilos, say, that means every joint in your body is experiencing 70 kilos, unless you're standing on both legs, where like this leg will be experiencing 35, this leg will be experiencing 35, etc. Unless you've got imbalances, which many of us have. Okay, so standing on one leg, you can do that while you're chopping vegetables at the kitchen sink. You can do it while you're watching TV. You can do it all over the place. The other thing we're going to do now is a calf stretch. So, So the calf is the muscle on the back of your leg, and all of us in Western society have short calf muscles because we wear shoes, and all shoes, unless it's a minimal shoe, has some amount of heel. If you have a look at all of your shoes, even if they're running shoes, like some Asics running shoes have about 1 inch of a heel on them. So that means that your calf muscle is being put in a position where it's actually being shortened by about 1 inch or a centimetre or whatever it is, or like if you're wearing 4-inch stilettos, 4 inches, all day while you are wearing those shoes. So we're going to try and get our calf muscles longer, because when we are walking, we must be able to dorsiflex our ankle, which means bring our toes towards our shin. And if we can't do that much, it means that we can't keep our foot on the ground as we are pushing it out behind us and walking. And quite often, paired with poor hip extension, it'll lead to back problems, neck problems. Yes, tight calf muscles can cause neck pain. So all I'm doing here is standing in pretty much neutral stance. My feet are relatively pointing straight ahead. My hips here, the bony bits in the front of my hips and the middle of my ankles are pretty much in 2 straight parallel lines. So my legs are 2 straight parallel lines. My weight's back in my heels, I'm not thrusting my pelvis, and I'm feeling a stretch in this calf muscle that I have up on this thing. So this is just a half foam roller. You can just roll up a towel or anything. So from the side it looks like this. So foot comes up on that. My other foot for now is just going to come directly beside it, and looking at yourself in a mirror from the side, you want to make sure you're not doing this. Many of you will find that you are in this position and you don't want to be there, so you want to back up your pelvis, feel that weight in your heels, and then if you find that in this position when you back up your pelvis you're really tilting forward, that's an indication that we need to work on your glute max, which is big muscle in your butt, and we can do that, which is great. Okay, so this is the calf stretch. Awesome stretch to do. And let's do it on the other side as well. And while I'm here, let's talk about the femur bone and what it means to have this bone here in a neutral position. So many of us have what we call an internal rotation. So this bone is going this way, internally rotating, and you can see that collapses my foot. So if I do that off here, can you see my feet? Yes. If I internally rotate this, you see how my arch collapses. So if I've got a collapsed arch, my femur is less likely to be in a neutral position, which means that the femur bone is straight. And I'll go into detail later about what that actually means. I'm looking at it from the perspective of the hamstring tendons, but we'll talk about that later. So when I'm doing the calf stretch, if I've got a really collapsed arch, my femur will be coming into internal rotation. So if I externally rotate my femur and lift my arch up, I will get a load in a different part of my calf, which is the part of my calf that really, really needs it, so that my bones can start operating more and more in a neutral position. So try that if you notice that your feet were really collapsed. Just try externally rotating the femur bone or lifting up the arch, and feel into how that changes the load, and probably in the lateral head, so the outside head of that calf muscle on the leg that you're stretching. Cool. It's a bit of geeky info for you, whether you put into that or not. Okay, so the next stretch we'll do is another standing one. It's called the top of the foot stretch, and again, all you do for this is this. So I've just got my foot behind me, and for many of you, this might be too much of a load for the top of your foot to start with. Again, while these exercises may seem pretty simple, they're actually foundational movements to have in your body. And if you don't have these movements in your body, any exercise that you do, you're going to be loading yourself with bigger loads in ways that you don't want to be. So you can grab a chair, and you can sit down on the chair. And then you can just put your foot behind you like that to reduce the load going through the top of the foot when you're doing this stretch. If we come back to the idea of how you're loading your body when you're standing, remember I said it was 1G, one gravitational load of force when you're standing. When you start to walk, those gravitational loads increase, and when you start to run, they increase again. So when you're walking, it can be kind of 1.5 to 2 Gs of force, which is 1.5 to 2 times your body weight. So all of a sudden, if you're walking down a hill, you might be experiencing 2 times your body weight going through your body. Running, you can get up to 2, 3, 4. If you're running downhill, it can apparently be as much as 9 G. So 9 times your body weight going through your bones, tendons, ligaments, all of that stuff. Which brings me back to the point of that, is that you want to transition wisely. So if you haven't been doing any running, don't start with running, start with walking. If you haven't been doing much standing because you've been sitting so much, don't start with heaps of walking, start with more standing. And I mean, walking is one of the best things you can do, so do start with some walking, but don't start with running. Start with a lighter load, work on getting your body into better alignment, and go from there. Okay, that's the top of the foot stretch. I'm going to do this side again. So these little videos are taking about 10 minutes. I'm generally going through a set of 4 or 5 exercises once each. Please feel free to repeat those exercises 2, 3 times if you want. Once is absolutely fine. When I started doing these, like I said, I generally do 15 minutes of stretching a day, and I was doing these 10-minute videos, and then I was like, oh, I need my 15 minutes, so I've been doing these plus my 15 minutes, so just generally going through these movements again. That's it. And the other one we're going to do today is a bit more dynamic. We're going to do some chair squats. So from the front, you're going to, you can see my feet, let's see a bit. You're going to just sit down on a chair and come up and come back down. And what you're really going to try and work on here is you're going to watch your knees, make sure they don't come in. You're going to watch your knees, make sure one of them is not all wobbly. And you want to make sure that they're staying in pretty much the same spot, yeah? To start with. From the side, it'll look something like this. So I'm just hinging at the hips and coming up, yeah? And then coming back down. You'll notice that there's not a lot of movement happening in my trunk, it's all happening at my hips. So there's no flexion of the spine or anything here. It's just a chair squat. You'll also notice that my shank or my tib fib is staying pretty vertical. It's sitting for a little bit. Most people want to do a squat like this, which will use more of these muscles, the quad muscles. When you keep the shank more vertical, you use more of your hamstrings and your butt muscles, which is what we want to be using more of. So there's some slightly different stuff that we've done today. I hope you had lots of fun. Any questions, please email me and let me know what you'd like to continue to do. And I hope you had fun moving today.